Hi, I am David Student, and I'm here from XAnalytix Systems, and I'm here to talk about ACED, or altering current state to an effective desired state, which is a capability we're developing under topic number N234-P08 for NavWar. The TPOC is Nick Gizzi, and then we have our subcontractor of Kubrick as well working with us. A little bit about XA, or XAnalytix Systems. We're a small defense company based out of Buffalo whose technical focus is developing technologies that can improve situational awareness to both operators as well as automated capabilities. And then XAnalytix Systems has been developing capabilities for a wide variety of customers for missions in many domains: sea, land, air, and space. And our focus is to provide operationally relevant technologies to humans that perform difficult tasks so they can perform their tasks quicker, more accurately, and mitigating risk. So the goal of ACE is to provide an evaluation tool or monitoring tool to operators or mission planners or commanders that measures the gap during a mission. And by a gap, I mean there is a plan and then there's what actually happens. So we take the plan and we compare that to the observations that are coming in during a mission, and we measure the gap based on different rule sets, indicators, MOPs, and MOEs as to how things are progressing. This provides the operator with a way to quickly understand how the plan execution is going, and to be able to make adjustments in an operation relevant time frame. This can also be hooked in with an automated planner, where that sort of making adjustments is a trigger for the mission planner to automatically replan. So currently, monitoring mission execution is mostly done manually, is our understanding, and which is going to result in a delay in decision making because you need to gather all the data from all the people. It could also result in missed information, right? So you don't have all the information in one place to make that your decision. ACED will continuously monitor data coming in and provide alerts or measures against the expected plans based on rules, and we'll talk about the rules in the next slide. So this is going to allow humans to make critical decisions quicker and be more informed while doing it. This is a picture of the monitoring user interface for the ACE system for a scenario. In this scenario, you have a fleet of blue assets, which are denoted here in the scenario map by blue, purple, and green dots. And then you have red trying to go into a certain area, and the fleet is trying to escort or dissuade red away from that area. So you can see in this case, one of the blue assets is escorting red north. On the top right is our alert severity or alert monitoring over time. So for each of the assets on the blue side, which in this case there are 6, and we have a single rule that we are monitoring right now, which is the deviation from its original path. And so when you have that deviation is measured against 3 different thresholds: what we call a green threshold, a yellow, and a red. Green meaning it's not exactly on track, but it'll catch up, it'll be fine. Yellow meaning you should monitor this, it might not get there on when you expect it to get there, and red being it's very far behind, and you should consider replanning this asset for mission success. And then on the bottom here, you have a deeper dive into the provenance of what causes alerts. So you have, this is for DDG 96, and this is the actual state evaluation over time. And those thresholds are the thresholds that are created within the rule. So you have the green line at 50, the yellow line at 100, and the red line at 150. And that's nautical miles, I believe. And so you can see the actual state deviating from the planned state. It starts about half a day into the mission it starts to deviate and shows up as a yellow alert, and then it progresses over the rest of the mission till it finally comes back down to a yellow alert at the very end. And so when it hits those red alerts, those red alerts happen because this asset is escorting the red away, so it's not close to its planned location, and things need to be done for that asset to catch up. So, for example, after it escorts the red asset away, it needs to go and catch up with the fleet. So it needs to cut across an area that previously wasn't planned to get back into a yellow, green, or even no alert state. So you can see up here at the top at the alert severity levels, you can see over time how all the assets are progressing for this one rule, and how some of them stay in the green. They're normally nominally always okay, and these two DDGs are doing the majority of the escorting, of the reds away from the area. So this is all done using ACED and its background framework and system. So we have two data sources that we're ingesting. We have the plan, and then we have the COP, which are the observations in our state. I should note that we can listen to any number of observation streams as long as the format is defined for us and we understand how to ingest it. Those can all go into our complex event processor, which is doing the majority of the hard work here. So it's listening to all this information and then comparing the plan against these COP messages or observed states as they come in live. And it measures them against the rules that have been created by pre-mission, as well as rules can be created during mission. I'll describe that in a second here on the right-hand side. Typically, these rules we're expecting are going to be measures of performance, measures of effectiveness, or indicators that are used traditionally to measure how effective the plan is doing, or being against what's actually going on. Relative power is an example of one of those. Then you have our database in the middle here, providing for easy queries, especially geospatially. And then on the right-hand side here, we have two user interfaces that provide insight as well as interaction with the system. So on the top, you have the monitoring UI, which is version 1 is what you saw on the previous slide. And so you have all the alerts there. You have the ability to drill down and see the provenance data, see it over time, see what caused it to deviate over time, and allow for someone to really dig in to understand what's going on if that's their desires. Then we have the business rule manager UI, which is really, really, really key here. It allows for anyone to create a rule without the need of understanding how code works. So they will be able to drag and drop nodes that represent indicators or measures of performance, measures of effectiveness, or lines of operation, and define the operators that they want to use against those, as well as the thresholds, right? So the parameterized thresholds, and submit it, and it will automatically create the code that the rules processor, the CEP, will use in the rules processor to calculate the planned against the observed. So live, anyone will be able to create these rules without the need of understanding how to code. And so the goal is for the rule manager UI and the complex event processor to work together to create alerts that will be displayed on the monitoring UI. So the current status is that the complex event processor, we have it listening to COP messages as well as the plan, and we by the end of the period, which ends in January 2026, we'll have the ability to display alerts and metadata of the desired versus the actual on a user interface. It'll probably be that dashboard that was displayed before. And then the key here is the ability to create new rules on the fly for scenarios to then be displayed on that monitor to see how different rules will function. And again, that'll be without the need of being able to code at all. And this is just a snapshot of our initial schedule. So ACED provides automated monitoring for complex plans at all execution levels. Everything I've talked about from here has been at the low level, the indicator level, or MOP level. But ACED has the ability to monitor at higher levels, at line of operations, or even higher than that at the overall mission level, and provide rolled up, fused understanding for different levels of people in the chain of command to understand how the plan is progressing. ACE is going to be able to provide ability for customization of the monitoring rules I've talked about. It's key that anyone is able to create a rule. You don't need to know how to code. You don't need to understand the data. The goal of that UI is to be able to allow anyone to create a rule that is allowed to create a rule, I should say, as there will be restrictions based on levels of people that are allowed to just monitor, people that are allowed to create rules, people that are allowed to edit, delete rules. And then ACE is going to be able to provide the execution status in operationally relevant time to allow for a replan or changes or an automated replan to happen sooner in the mission and potentially provide higher levels of success for the mission. I should say one of the other things that we've looked at, we just don't have the funding for right now, is doing predictive analytics as well as using LLMs within our rule building UI for people to assist people in making the rules, new rules that don't even exist in the system. So our transitioning ACE beyond phase 2 is going to require a demo tool that we are planning in a mock that we're planning to do in December 2025. We're planning to have our full system done sometime mid-November of 2025. And then our primary transition advocate is our TPOC, Nick Izzy. So ACE is applicable at various operational levels, as I mentioned before. Different levels might have different functions and different things they want to see, and so the rules, as well as the ability to create rules, can be adjusted for each of those different levels. And the resources that will provide us with helping us advance ACE the most, besides just funding, are interactions with subject matter experts, as well as any sort of data of scenarios with a plan, so we can run it through ACE, so we can show, hey, we would have known at this time into the mission that things were deviating or diverging to a point that you couldn't recover. And then ACE is applicable really anywhere there's a plan and observations come in. So military and military defense wise, it's beyond naval, it's all the other domains as well. And then non-military situations like supply chain. You have a supply chain plan of where you want things at certain times, and then you have what actually comes in, so you can monitor when things are deviating to a point that you need to adjust your supply chain plan to make up for potentially the delays that are happening. And then come talk to us. XAnalytix Systems, or XA for short. I'm the POC, David Sudit. You can email me any questions if you want to do a virtual meeting. I'm in Boston. If you want to do an in-person meeting, that's fine too. And that's my phone number if you need to call me. And then XA, we are a remote company. We are based out of Buffalo, New York. And this is our website that you can go to look at other capabilities that we are developing. So thank you very much for your time, and please come stop by and talk to us.